not address this fully. I was one of the first channels really championing AI as something that can help you with your music production, whether it was like creating melodies and arpeggios and chords and these kinds of things. And from that point of view, you're sort of becoming a crafter, thinking more like a beat maker, which is something that I think we all get confused about, like what different titles of what is it that you're actually doing? Like, what is the thing that you're making? And I think that's where a lot of us get lost in the sauce, even. Like, okay, well, first you need to learn basic music theory, or maybe you skip that and then you learn, okay, how do I chop up these samples? And then you learn the best ways to chop samples. Then you need to learn, oh, what are the best drums? What's the best way to make drums so that I can make a beat to put these samples on? What's the best way to mix that together? What's the best way to sell that beat? It can get completely overwhelming. And then if AI is going to allow me to just type, okay, make the song in this style with lyrics that talk about this, and I don't have to do anything, then what is the point? I get it. Like, what is the point? Like, why are you making music anyway? Like, what, like, I get it. Like, why even bother? So I think it is about figuring out which one of those steps, which thing is it that you like to do when it comes to music. And then also think about the next step, like not just music, like where do you want your music to be? And I think that's where it can be a little more important to you. So like if you want your music in a Wendy's commercial or a Star Wars movie or something, a Netflix show, like, and AI is going to let us generate that, then, is it that you just want to edit? Like, do you just want to like edit your music? Like, do you want to be a music supervisor? You want to select the best AI generations and just put them in your own show? Then does that mean that you just want to make a show? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, we have to really start analyzing what it is we're trying to create. And if you don't have a vision for like what the part, the piece of the puzzle that you want to do, then like you are gonna give up. You're just gonna give up. You're gonna stop. Like, why? Like, why bother? If I can just at the click of a button say, okay, make a Star Wars type movie with this kind of song and and I literally didn't do anything, then why bother? This is why like so much of my Jakey Wakey content bleeds into this content. This is why the self-help content bleeds into the Get Songs Done content, because this is all about mindset. It's all about what is the thing that you're trying to create? What are you trying to be? What is your story? What is your story? What is your story? What are your stories that you have already lived that you want to share with the world? When you think about it that way, then it's like, okay, well, how does music production fit into that? How do I need to write a song? Do I just need to edit songs to the beat of this video that I'm making that it tells the story about how this one time I did this? Like, you can literally just pick up your microphone, your phone, record about a story, something that happened in your life that's important and you want to share with your kids, or you think that might help somebody that's been struggling right now. You can share that story and then maybe use AI to generate video, to generate music, and then just edit it together. Use your skills to edit together. Like, you don't necessarily have to do everything yourself. At the same time, if you did want to do everything yourself, I think the tools are here for us to help us do that. So yes, it does take work. I think that's the problem, right? Like, people just don't want to work anymore. Like, we're just burnt out. Like, we've just been run down. And if I don't have to work, why should I? I think that's where life is headed for most people. I think like people just don't want to do the work. Like, it's too much to click a couple of buttons now. Like, oh, I have to click more than one button to go listen to your music. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. Like, oh, I have to put my email address in. I don't want to do that. Oh, I have to pay you some money. I'll just go learn on YouTube somewhere else. Like, it's too much work. So the same place that prevents everyone from doing the things that they want to do, from the same resistance, if you will, that stops everyone from pursuing their dreams, is the same thing that gives us the opportunity. Because if everyone stops pursuing their dreams, then it's a lot easier for us to pursue our dreams. It's more of an open season for those of us that can actually push through and make the things that we want to make. There's a better chance that it will get out. like people will see it. Does that make any sense? Like how many people are doing the level of work that I'm doing, and then like at the same time, like there are creators doing way higher level of work, like way higher. And it's like those are the people you see. They put in the work. I mean, what is his name? I don't know. The biggest YouTubers you've ever seen. They've executed on levels that you've never thought about. Like I heard that, I don't know if you've heard of Eric or Mr. Beast, obviously. Like they put in like 20 days of work before they even shoot. So they come up with the idea, the script, the more ideas, like the thumbnail, the title, the this, the that, like all these things to make the video the best video they can possibly make, just to entertain the most amount of people possible. 22 days to get ready to shoot one video. So if you want to be a musician, maybe you need 22 days to make one song, or to make one loop, or one whatever. And the original idea for this live stream was actually just to start smaller. Like, because it can become it's so overwhelming that maybe we just need to start really small. Make a 4-bar loop. Make a 4-bar loop of music. Try to organize our effects. Organize our session. I'm actually in the middle of redoing my my production template / mixing template, because I want it to be more simple. I want to have my go-to effects. I think I've sort of sorted out which plugin manufacturer to go with and to use for most of my stuff, and just make it simple. Just have like go-to things, like, okay, I need this vocal widener here, I need this whatever here, and so that it's takes up less brain resources, because overwhelm is happening. Like that's really, I think, what is happening. Like there's just too many options. There's too many things you feel like you need to know, too many things that you know that you need to implement. It's so much stuff. It's overwhelm. And the solution to the overwhelm is having a system, just having a structure in place that works for you, that you make for yourself. Like not necessarily borrowing my structure or my system, but like creating your own system. So yeah, arrange your plugins into folders. Arrange your template into something that's like a pre-mixed template. So you have like basic EQs and compressors and subgroups already set up, so that you can just throw all your stuff into there, you know? And as much as I'm not a fan of top-down mixing, at least you have, like, you could do that, you know, if it speeds up your workflow. You know, it's good to have subgroups, I think. Because there are times when I just go in and I'm like, I've already kind of mixed the project, and then I listen to a reference and I'm like, holy crap, all of my instruments have too much low end in them. And I just go to my subgroup and just like roll it off. Just roll all the low end off until it sounds good. And the drums come through and the bass comes through, and that's it. I can talk a little bit about AI. There's still like so much issues with the copyright. Like I think Red Lobster's getting sued for using a bunch of AI music in their commercial, because right now AI trains on recordings of copyrighted work. So like you can't just sync somebody's music. In fact, that's probably as musicians, like one of the things we should aspire for to do is get our music in TV shows and films, right? Because we get a good chunk of money, and we can get recurring revenue from that money, from royalties, and from that part of the job. And that's why like everybody's selling you their dreams. Like each part of this process, every part of songwriting, somebody's like, oh, you're probably going to get stuck there. I'm going to teach you how to do that. And I'm going to tell you that's the reason that you can't make your song. Let me get back to AI, and then we'll flip back to this. So there's legal issues with AI, and it may get sorted. I'm imagining, since these companies are so big, it may get sorted so that they can clear the copyright of these AI music generators that are using your works. If that happens, it's going to be tough. It's going to be like a really tough day for us. But until that happens, I think that's still an opportunity for songwriters, is to get our stuff into films and stuff. And then also, like, the Spotify thing for a long time has been tough for smaller creators. So I don't think that's the solution either. I think being a live streamer is common, right? Like people play games, people make stuff, Like, and people just, there's no reason like to not be a live streamer or to be a guy that makes videos. Like, just do like things that you're interested in and then somehow figure out a way to incorporate your music into that. And people can give you money. I know this sounds like being like kind of like a busker, but we're I think that's where it's headed. We're digital buskers now. We just have to hope somebody out there, because you never know who is going to stumble onto your live stream. You never know who's going to stumble onto your video, and they may really resonate with something you said or really want to help you. And so even if you don't have a lot of reach, you might reach the right person, and like it might happen. So like I think like it's this like combination of digital busking / aiming for getting in films, stuff like that, and then also having a strategy to sell a digital product, which is totally different, I get, than music, but or a service where you're actually like playing the trumpet for people or whatever, and whatever that is for you, depending on your musical skills. So like having these 2-3 ways to make income with your music, I don't see that going away immediately, like in 2024 anyway. It may happen, but until all of that gets sorted, there's still ways to make money with music and being a creator. And that's why I'm like kind of tackling all this mindset stuff in the Jakey Wakey channel. So if you're interested in any of this, go check that out. That makes sense, right? So it's like picking your lane. Like in an ideal scenario, I think I would mainly be doing vocals. I think I would just be singing on tracks that maybe other people produce or I co-produce with people, and then get those out. And then I would fortunately I would own most of the copyright anyway. And then I would be able to license, depending on how I set up the contracts, to license that music to TV and stuff. And for you, if you're hiring session players, you know, like that's going to elevate your music. We're going to talk about different people selling you things for you to reach your goal. And inherently buying products or courses, things like that, not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's a lot more affordable than going to school. The amount of money that I paid to go to music production school is gross. Honestly, I learned more after. So, and on the side, like I learned a lot from making music, watching other people make music, helping music, working in the studio, and reading, learning on outside of my classroom. At the same time, I learned a decent amount from the classroom. But what I'm getting at is there's so many elements to putting together music, and at each juncture, you may need help. And you can, like you said, you can hire session musicians. You can hire somebody to mix for you. You can hire producers to help you arrange the track. So like we actually have a lot of tools to help you get over the hurdles so that you don't have to do the parts that you don't want to do. But here's what I'm recently having issue with is like, I feel like it's predatory for companies like mastering.com to say the reason that your song is not good or not doing well is because you don't know how to mix right. And you need to buy our course, learn how to mix so that you can be a songwriter. And I guess, and maybe I'm missing it. Maybe that's not really what the messaging is, but that's what it feels like. And I think that's a little bit predatory. At the same time, like I'm using a similar tactic. And I think like a lot of what keeps you from being a songwriter is a mindset. And so I'm offering my services for you to get through that, to break through that. So I get it. But at the same time, like all of this can be broken down much in a more simple way, I think, instead of like overcomplicating it. Instead of simplifying mixing, mastering.com makes it more complicated. And so like you have a 10-hour compression class, you have a 10-hour EQ class, you have a 10-hour this class. And I think you're just like missing the point of why you're trying to learn what you're trying to learn. Which is why I just made actually a video on compression. Did you get a chance to see it, Ty Grill? I just made a compression video on this channel explaining what compression is for people that are just getting started with music. And I'm going to do that with each thing. And hopefully also provide maybe a little more like how this helps your song, like what you need to use it for. So there's more context. Thank you. Yeah. For some reason, the audio in that like didn't sound as good as it needed to sound, I don't think, but I'll work on that for the next one. And I'm about to do a vocal chain, how to make a custom vocal chain class. And I was thinking about actually, I mean, not class, but how to make a custom vocal chain. I was actually thinking about doing it live or pre-recorded. I'm not sure, but like how to make the custom vocal chain that works for you, and using maybe I'll just give it away. Like I'll make it live. Oh, fun. And then do like maybe I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to work on the vocal chain and why that's important, and make it like a short, concise video. I think that's what I'm going to do. I might actually make it live and then go back and make a short video about it. But anyway, and then incorporate the aspects of compression that are important, the aspects of EQ that are important, and like why it's so important to have a good vocal chain. You're thinking of hiring out as a session player. So you're thinking of being a session player. Yeah. And I think like that is fantastic use of your musicianship. If you're like having trouble putting all of the pieces together, why not just do the thing that you're good at, you know? Yes. Yeah, for sure, Tigro. Why? Well, yeah, hop on Fiverr. I hopped on Fiverr. I just updated my gig. You saw me do that live, I think a couple days ago, for mixing, because I can mix other people's stuff like way faster than mine. And I think I'm just going to like flip it and like just make income on Fiverr, mixing other people's stuff. And I'll probably mix their stuff live on here. So you can see like, it doesn't have to be a slow process. And I'll mix their stuff. And then I'll hire somebody else to mix my stuff, because I just get in my own head about stuff. And we all do. I don't think that's what makes it so hard. It's like, yes, they're right. Mastering.com is right when they say mixing is like what's keeping you from getting your music out or sounding good. But the answer is not mix your own stuff. The answer is have someone else mix it, because you just can't get that objectivity. You just can't. Like, it's literally impossible. Okay, well, this has been fun. If for some reason you made it this far and I didn't delete the entire video after the first bit, watch another video. Should be one up here. And thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Catch you in the next one.